Hey guys, there's no way that you guys are already in the room. How are there five of you guys in here already? Uh, hey fellas, welcome to Friday Night Live. Uh, I am of course Paul Glasgow here with you guys, and let me get this right here. I want to make sure we got this whole camera angle right. Oh, I didn't plug my Christmas lights up. Where's my Christmas light plug? There we go. Ready? One, two, three. Boom. There we go. 'Tis the season. Let's see here. Let me get my. All right, guys. Welcome to Friday Night Live. Paul Glasgow here, and you guys. Yeah, I mean, it's like you guys were in the room already. What the heck? Seriously, were y'all like on standby or something? Because I mean, as soon as I opened the room, there were like five of y'all in here already. Welcome, nevertheless. Missed you guys last week. Man, it was kind of a weird situation last week. We were down in Florida, and I was wanting to live stream for you guys while we were down there for this. It was called the Epic Shoot, put on by Big Daddy Unlimited and Leviathan Group. Well, it wasn't that I had a bad signal. I never got to check my signal because I didn't think these guys were going to do anything that night. And I'm not used to sitting idle. So it was pouring down raining. It had already rained for like 12 hours, and it kept raining, I think, 12 hours past that. So I had a windbreaker on. I threw it on, walked across the whole parking lot, through about 3 inches of water, across 5 lanes of street to get a 6-pack of beer because I was like, all right, I'm over here by myself in Florida. You know, nobody's doing anything. Nobody's going out and eat. So I went and got my beer. Then I walked back across the 5 lanes with my gun on my side, of course, and my 6-pack in my hand. Went into Taco Bell, got me a freaking burrito, and then I went back up to my hotel room. And as soon as I got up there, took my food out, put it on my coffee table to eat. I get a text, hey, we're going to go eat. I was like, all right, well, all right, I'll do that. So I grabbed one, I drank one beer, and then I went. So long story short, I didn't have time to do anything. I mean, it was like the whole thing was messed up. So anyway, let me give you guys some shout outs here. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, you know, coming in. Richard Portella, good to see you. Tomahawk M468. Happy Friday, guys. Have fun and be safe. Good luck to you, last minute Christmas shoppers. Yeah, definitely. Good luck to you. Bobby Zeke, Shark Chucker, Peter Aker, Polar Bears in the room. Edwin Esparza. Mr. F&H, Keith Gregory is in here. Nice to meet you, Keith. Willie Dick, Big Mo, Roger Kaiser, Mike C., Jeremy Hancock, Zach Briggs, what's up? Eric Davis, Mike Sands, Misfit Minuteman, let's see, Tyler Wildman, James Crum, as I think I said everyone's name already. The Archangel's in here. Merry Christmas to you as well, Archangel. Let's see. Yeah, it's weird that you guys were able to wait in the room. I've never seen that before. Misfit Miniman says, yeah, Jaeger, Donut Operator, we're all there. Yeah, I saw those guys. Donut Operator, I don't know who that is, but Jaeger, I chatted with him for a bit. And I have allergies kicking my butt. So if you hear me snorting, I'm not a coke head. I don't do drugs, never have done drugs. So I just have this whole kind of, it's not bad. It's not terrible. It's just, it's kind of got a sore throat going. And yeah, the very dry throat. It's aggravating right now. So, I mean, I'm drinking a beer to try to cool that fire. All right. Yeah, Mike C's in here. Frank Jensen, Craig Bryant. Yeah, a bunch of you guys are in here. So, all right, let me get right into it. Yeah, the thing we did last weekend was actually pretty cool. I'll have a video coming out probably this weekend. I got a lot of footage, It was really good. Edwin says, say my name again. My wife won't believe me. You said it twice. Edwin Esparza. I suppose that's proper pronunciation. If not, I apologize. Doesn't mean I'm racist if I pronounced it wrong. You know what I mean? I've gotten called that before for mispronouncing names that were not of my heritage, and it's kind of stupid. No, I don't smoke weed either, Keith Gregory. Just not my thing. I've just always been a beerhead. You know, I don't even drink hard stuff. Hard stuff. I become an asshole whenever I drink hard liquor, so I don't even touch the stuff. Um, David Kurt says, love the VR80 video. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Guys, I got to tell you this about Rock Island Armory. You know, they're friends of ours. I mean, I don't lie about my relationships in the gun business. I mean, we have met and become friends and befriended a whole bunch of people in the gun community. And I mean, I'm not shy of that. I'm not ashamed of it. Rock Island Armory are very good friends of ours. The owners are very close friends of ours. It all started with our gun bully segments. With this 1911 several years ago that we beat up, buckshot with buckshot. You can see the dent right there. We did all kinds of stuff to this thing. After that, we became very good friends with those guys. So they will usually, if they have a new gun coming out, they will typically send us one of the first guns that comes out. And I say one of because I've never been the first gun. And I got to say, I'm very flattered that the VR80, we were the first VR80 shotgun. We were the first. In fact, when they sent me the VR80, they had not announced yet that the VR80 would be coming out. And you know what? I didn't bring it up here. How stupid of me. I should have brought that thing up here for those of you who hadn't seen the video yet. I love this thing. Well, they sent me the first thing like 2 weeks before I can even talk about it. And I was like, what? I was like, so I can't even, you send me this thing and I can't talk about it. I can't show it. I can't do anything with it. Are you serious? They're like, yeah, not till December 15th. Well, December 15th was this past Saturday when I was in Florida. I was like, crap. So I did my video this past week, and it was cool because they sent me the first ever gun, and I played with it. I was able to shoot it. I actually did a lot of filming with it. And once I was able to put my video out, or at least I was working on my video, one of the owners of Rock Island called me this past week. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. And I asked, hey, man, not pressuring you, but do you have your video ready yet? Because our employees want to see it. And I was like, no, I'm not quite done with it yet, but, you know, it's coming. It's going to be a fun video. I had a blast shooting. Okay, no pressure, just checking to see because our employees wanted to see it. So I thought that was kind of cool. You know, the company genuinely appreciates when you do stuff for them. So, again, I don't make any excuses for things, you know. They're good to me. You know, Rock Island Armory is good to me. I'm a fan of their products. So definitely, it's one of those kind of things where, I'm biased towards their products because customer service, quality of products, and just general, you know, ownership qualities. That's important to me. When I know that the guy who is in charge of the entire company is a good person and cares about his people and his not only his workers but his customers, that's very important to me. So anyway, the VR80 was a blast to shoot. I had a fun time shooting that thing. But back to the, again, I digress. Back to the epic shoot from last week. Big Daddy Unlimited and Leviathan Group put the thing on. Met some very cool people down there. C&G Holsters, man, I got to recommend these guys. It's not because all of a sudden I met a guy and he was nice. It's because I met a guy and he's nice and he has a great product. I don't mind telling you that Kydex holsters are a freaking dime a dozen out there. They're everywhere. Everybody makes them. Everybody's got a microwave and a sheet of plastic to make a Kydex holster. That's not what this guy does. C&G Holsters, he's out of Philadelphia. Is it Philadelphia or Pittsburgh? It's one of those freaking Pennsylvania towns that I'm not real fond of. I don't care for either one of those cities. Let's see. Seven Wonders. Hi, folks. I invited some friends from Budget Guns and Gears Chat. That's cool. Good job. Yeah, Archangel Says Tonight's podcast is sponsored by Rock Island Armory. I wish. I'm not getting a check. That's the downside to it. But anyway, this guy makes these Kydex holsters, and the Kydex holsters are they're instead of, you know, guys, most of you that are familiar with the Kydex holster. Let me see here. Oh, by the way, I want you guys to see this. I wore this on purpose. I have my my Grinch jammies on because I wanted you guys to see these. But let me see here. I'm reaching for a blue gun. This blue gun right here. Wow, that's a big transition. Big time. Talk about showing off my color. This guy right here is usually how they make a Kydex holster. Typically, they're going to take a blue gun, and then somebody's going to lay one of those sheets of Kydex material, the plastic, over the top of it, and they essentially bake it. They bake it to where it form fits around the actual gun so that when you sell it and you have the actual gun, it slides right into it. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that it's a kind of a poor man's way to do it. Well, what C&G does is they actually are CNC machining. They're actually, they're CAD cutting, so to speak. Using a CAD program and CNC technology, they're cutting these things and molding them and all that good stuff. So again, the whole manufacturing process, I'm not 100% sure with, but I do know that he gave me one of the holsters and I'm a big fan of it. In fact, I was carrying a Glock 19 at the time, and I took my Glock 19 out and took my holster I was carrying at the time, which I don't recall the manufacturer. I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to Kydex manufacturers most of the time because they all seem to be the same. So I just grab one until I find one that fits me. So I tossed the other one aside and grabbed his and put it on, and man, I've been wearing it ever since. I mean, I'm a big fan of it. So C&G, definitely check those guys out. SB Tactical was out there. As you can see, if you can see on the wall over here, I'm a huge fan of SB Tactical. Let's see. I'm two that you can see over here, and probably another 4 or 5 on the other side of the room over here. Love SB Tactical stuff. Good stuff right there. So they were there. That was nice to be able to hang out with those guys and get to meet them. IWI makers of the Galil. The Tavar. The Galil, which is down the end over here. Jericho, you know, very, very nice stuff. Let's see. Who else is there? I made some notes here. Oh, Fostech. Our buddies, Fostech with the Origin 12 shotgun right here. Magazine fed shotgun, 12-gauge shotgun. The Echo trigger. I got a really, really nice lightened up bolt carrier from those guys, and they make awesome products. They're friends of ours. They're buddies. They're good dudes. LWRC was out there. Awesome AR-15s. If you don't know them, you gotta check these guys out. So we had a good time. It was nice. It was wet, but it was nice. What's some of the other stuff I want to talk about? My hockey puck video. Some of you guys have probably seen it. I think was it yesterday or the day before we put that thing out? Man. Yeah, unbelievable. Up in Michigan, I don't have the story up in front of me like I should. A university in Michigan has issued pucks to teachers to throw at potential mass killers that might storm the room. So I put a video out. I had to order pucks because I live in South Louisiana. We don't freaking have hockey pucks here. I don't care what department store you go to. There's no pucks. So I did a video on that and to try to show the ridiculous nature of comparing a hockey puck to a handgun. It was fun, though. It was really fun. I had a good time doing that. Let's see. Bump stocks. Man, I'll tell you what. I will probably, here we go. I have 3 months to get rid of this. According to the ATF and President Trump, I have 3 months to get rid of this thing, or else I will be a felon. Unbelievable, guys. This thing was purchased legally. It has been possessed legally for better part of 2, maybe 3 years now. all of a sudden, an ex post facto law is going to come into effect, which is unconstitutional. That's not my opinion. That's not my interpretation of the Constitution. It is written. Guys, let me explain something to you. It is written in the Constitution that ex post facto laws are unconstitutional. Those exact words are in there. What that means, ex post facto, means that you cannot make a law that makes retroactively makes something illegal. I mean, he specifically is talking about this type of thing. You cannot make or pass a law and legally enforce that law if you're making something that was previously legal all of a sudden illegal. That's kind of like what they're doing right here. The exact thing. So I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm doing with mine or what I'm not doing with mine. I'm not destroying mine and I'm not giving mine up. Those are the two options that I've heard so far that I have to do. So, and I say that now, I'm not trying to act like a tough guy. I'm not turning them in. I'm definitely not turning these guys in. Personally, guys, I'm going to be honest with you all. I did not pay for these. I have two of them. I have this one and I have one on an AK-47 somewhere. So I have two of them. I didn't pay for either one of them. They were given to me by the manufacturers. Doesn't matter. This is a bullcrap law. Now, somebody mentioned in there a while ago about Trump. I got to tell you, I'm very disappointed in Donald Trump. Very disappointed. But I have told you guys before, if you've been on my live streams before, you know what I'm talking about. Donald Trump is not, he's never been a pro-gun guy. And what I mean by that is, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want any of the pro-Trump people getting, their panties in a wad and, getting some soiling action going on down between their butt cheeks. What I'm trying to say is Trump has never, ever, ever been a pro-gun guy. Yes, he said pro-gun things, but Trump doesn't know guns. Think about it, guys. This is a man that grew up in Manhattan. He grew up in the city of New York. As far away from guns as you can possibly ever be. As far away from a gun community, a legitimate gun community as you can possibly get. He grew up there, got old there. He's never gotten an affinity for guns. Now, he claimed that affinity for guns so that he could win the nomination and win the presidency simply because he knew that, okay, I'm running as a Republican. If I want to win as a Republican, then okay, I got to act pro-gun. I'm not saying he's anti-gun. What I'm saying is he doesn't understand the gun culture. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand what it's like for us to be rabid about something. He doesn't understand what it's like for us to be 100% committed to something. I think he feels like guns are something that we feel kind of strong about, but if something happens, not a big deal. No, he doesn't get it. He doesn't see how our community and our culture really works. He doesn't understand that. And I'm not bashing the guy. I voted for him. But that's the difference between us. We are true, avid gun owners that are rabid about our Second Amendment stance. Trump's Second Amendment stance is checking a box. You know what I mean? He's like checking a box that, okay, I got to be pro-life. I got to be anti-big government. I got to be pro-gun. These are not things that Trump was raised believing. These are not things that Trump was a Democrat, for God's sakes, for most of his life. So I'm very disappointed in the man. I'm disappointed because I feel like if Trump had less of an ego, I feel like his ego is getting in the way right now because Trump will never admit when he's wrong. And the problem with all of this is the fact that he has got this issue in his mind that he says things before he thinks. So when he says those things, he won't retract them because his ego will not let him retract them. The problem with that is that he falls into a trap like this whole thing where they get him to say something anti-gun and he won't back it up. In this case, he won't back it up. I really believe that his son, probably both of them, but for sure Donald Trump Jr., who is a big gun guy, and probably Eric Trump, Eric Trump, they probably both have told him, Dad, that was not the right thing to do. Well, Trump's too egotistical to back that up. Again, not bashing the guy. I voted for him. But his weakness is his ego. That's his weakness. So, I don't know, man. If Trump comes out, look, you guys know this. I don't have to tell you this. If Trump does one more thing that is even perceived as being anti-gun, he's gone. Trump needs the pro-gun community just as bad as he needs women voters, minority voters, and any other demographic out there. He cannot alienate us and expect to win in 2020. I will tell you guys this. If that man does one more thing that is truly anti-gun, I will avidly campaign against him. Not for a Democrat, but I will push for somebody else. Because, thank God, even if Trump would have said something that was perceived as somewhat anti-gun, I would have still voted for him over Hillary Clinton. Make no mistake. I could have. That is an evil bitch, and I would have never voted for that nasty, old, crusty, evil hag. Ever. Ever. But going forward, we got our 2 Supreme Court justices, which kind of matters. I mean, I saw a Supreme Court ruling today that Justice Roberts, once again, voted with the liberals. Justice Roberts did. So thank God we got 2 Supreme Court justices in there, because Roberts is certainly not what you can count on to do any kind of conservative fight on our side. So the best we can hope for, and I'm going to say this as politely as I can, that Ruth Bader Ginsburg finally kicks the bucket and Trump puts somebody else in there with, a conservative mindset to him. So now we can outvote Roberts, since he doesn't seem to understand the platform that I know you're not supposed to approach the Supreme Court from a conservative standpoint, but the man supposedly had constitutional views to him. And that's what I'm talking about. To me, the reason why I feel like conservatism is the right way to go is because if you look at liberalism and conservatism, common sense applies to conservatism. It just does. I mean, it's common sense. It's like you got to work for what you get, no free handouts and all that kind of stuff, where the liberals want the bizarro world type stuff. So again, my point is, I can't voice my opinion, I guess my dissatisfaction right now with Trump any stronger than what I have. I'm just very disappointed in the guy. I think he's too far away from the whole gun community and too far away from what we truly believe in and understanding it. And of course, he didn't have any help from the NRA, because the NRA is one of the only pro-gun groups that has Trump's ear, and they weren't in favor of fighting this whole bump stock thing. Make no mistake either, guys. My whole slant, and you guys know it, is totally different on the whole bump stock thing. My thing with the bump stock deal is not the fact that I don't feel like the ATF should or should not have made a ruling on bump stocks. They shouldn't have had any part of the conversation at all, because they got no jurisdiction. It is simply a gun accessory. The ATF, although incorrectly, they should not have any jurisdiction whatsoever based on what the Second Amendment means. But the ATF has jurisdiction over actual firearms. They don't have jurisdiction over accessories. And we gave them jurisdiction over accessories. We basically told them through Trump and all the Republicans that were too much of a candy ass to actually do anything about it themselves. So they decided to go ahead and punt this thing to the ATF. telling the ATF they need to make a ruling on it. Well, all that did was embolden the ATF that, okay, so now we got power. So now the power resides at the ATF that they don't have any actual real claim to, no legitimate claim to that power. But it was ceded to them by the president and by Congress incorrectly and unconstitutionally. We have unelected bureaucrats in the ATF now making law and making policy. That's not how the U.S. government works, guys. It's just not. I know we get used to things working in a twisted, messed up kind of way sometimes, but it doesn't make it right. That's not how laws, I mean, look, I grew up watching Schoolhouse Rock. I know how a bill is supposed to be made. A bill is not supposed to be made through some bureaucracy of unelected officials. It's supposed to be elected officials and go through the House, the Senate, the president, and if they don't like that after that, it goes to Supreme Court. So, yeah, the ATF, man, they're going, I'm telling you, just like I said in one of my videos, the next thing they do, it's going to be somebody that is going to be involved in some kind of a shooting, a mass shooting, 2 or more people, whatever their definition is, and they're going to use a scope, a long-range optic, and they're going to shoot somebody at 600-700 yards, something like that. After that, the ATF is going to go in there because we let them monitor and outlaw an accessory like a bump stock. Now they're going to go in there and say, hey, guys, you can't have an optic, a scope, that's going to give you any kind of an accurate shot past 250 yards. You know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It will happen. It will. Let's see. I'm reading some of you guys' comments. No, I did not. Big Mo asked if I heard about third-party red flag law that was enforced. Unless that was the one in Virginia, maybe, or Maryland, where the people kicked the guy's door in to go take his guns because somebody said he might be a danger to someone. And I think he drew a gun when they kicked his door in, and then they shot him and killed him. That might be the one you're talking about. If that's the case, that's pathetic. That's what this kind of stuff breeds. That's what this kind of stuff breeds. It makes stuff like that happen. Let's see. No, I agree. Keith Gregory says at least Trump is not trying to ban AR-15s like Hillary would have. No, I didn't say Hillary was a better option. I never claimed that. But to me, you can't ride the fence on the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is not a buffet. It's not something where you take what you like and you leave the rest hanging out to dry. That's not the way the Second Amendment is. It's an all or nothing thing. You're either for the Second Amendment 100% or you're not for the Second Amendment 100%. These people that try to claim that they're on our side, but then they preach anti-gun stuff by saying, oh, I own a gun and I grew up hunting, but I don't think anybody should own an AR-15. Nope. You just went in the other group. You're not part of this group. I don't care that you owned a gun. That's like me saying I have a black friend. So I can't be racist because I got a black friend. Oh, so you own a gun and now that makes you legitimately pro-gun even though you want to infringe on and stomp all over the Constitution in every other way? No, it doesn't work like that. You can't say you're for an amendment and then stomp all over that amendment. You have to say you're for it and stand for it after that. You just can't do it. It doesn't work like that. That's not how things work. So, no, I mean, I'm not. Trump has got to pick a side, guys. Trump has got to pick a side because the thing that scares me in 2020 is that nasty, old, crusty, wicked bitch, Hillary Clinton, is still threatening to run. That's scary as hell to me. Scary as hell. I don't know how a lightning bolt hasn't just split her right down the middle of her forehead. But it hadn't. That makes you question if there's a God or not. Because if there were truly a God, she would have a torch mark right through her forehead. But she's out there. threatening to run. Look at all these other wackos that they're threatening to run. They're all anti-gun, every one of them. So, yeah, look, I feel secure with the Supreme Court being somewhat sewn up. That's a good thing. I'm okay with that. I think you've probably got, I don't know, no, well, there's no one on the Republican side that will oppose Donald Trump, which right now is probably the time to do it, to be honest with you, because, you know, Trump has so many people rattled right now. Now, if there was ever a time, excuse me, where an incumbent could be unseated, it would be now. Simply because, you know, even on the conservative and Republican side, so many of those people do not want Trump in there. So you've got the whole Democrat Party, and most of the Republican Party that wants Trump out. So don't be surprised if somebody runs against Trump. Man, 2020, wow. 2020 is going to be a circus election, a freaking circus election. You hear me? Not only will it be a circus election, I forget the big names that I saw in the Senate, but, you know, House of Representatives, of course. There are some key senators that I noticed that were up for re-election that probably have a seat that could turn. Obviously, the presidency. If Joe Biden runs, you know, no telling what's going to happen there. Oh, crazy Joe. Joe Biden is actually the only Democrat that if he ran, if it wasn't for the damage that he could do to our country, I would probably enjoy it because he's such an idiot and such a wacko that I enjoy listening to all the crazy stuff that wacko Uncle Joe says. But I know how he is. He's pretty much like a Barack Obama. So we'll see. Anyway, guys, I don't even know how to talk about it. I'm so disappointed in Donald Trump with the way he pushed this whole thing to the ATF. You know, what does that do as far as setting precedent to all the other bureaucracies out there where unelected people work for them? You know what I mean? I mean, the EPA, all these people out there all of a sudden are going to feel like they're emboldened to have this power to now make law. Instead of enforcing law, which that's their job is to enforce policy that's being handed down from Congress. Now they have the power, incorrectly, but they're being given that power from Congress because Congress is being cowards and escaping their own responsibility and kicking that responsibility to these bureaucracies. So more of them will do that. I mean, how awesome is that? For you have now these elected officials can now shuck their own responsibilities, walk away from their own responsibilities and say, not my problem. That's the ATF. I had nothing to do with that. That's not my job. The president's over that, not me. I didn't do it. How cowardly. That's so cowardly. That just, I can't handle that, man. Yeah. Z50 says Donald Trump did what the majority of America wanted. He banned bump stocks. What is sickening to me is all the people out there that said, screw a bump stock. I don't use them. I don't need them. They're stupid. So we don't care. No, it matters. It matters because once they start taking, well, you know what's next. That's going to be next. A binary trigger, a Fostech Echo trigger, that's going to be next. 50-round drum is going to be no more. You will not find a 50-round drum. I got a whole case of these things down in my garage, by the way, if y'all want one before before the ban hits. You're not going to get these anymore. These are awesome, by the way. These are the X Products ones. So, yeah, these are going to be a thing of the past. I mean, you're not going to get these things anymore. There's a whole slew of things that will not be legal anymore because we allowed them to take our, yes, X Products, because I know these guys. It's not what you're thinking. It's not. I've told the story before about the whole issue with the wacko from, I think, Washington. That was one of the 6 owners of X Products. I'll go into that another time. Um, yeah, these things right here, as simple as they are, the whole bump stock thing is just the beginning. It's the beginning of allowing people who don't have any jurisdiction to limit things that they don't have any control over, but we let them, you know. I will say this, and I mean this. The gun community came out with 30,000 people commenting on the bump stock thing whenever the bump stock thing came out. When they opened it up for comments from the general public, a lot of people talked about it. And actually, there were more positive responses in defense of the bump stock than there were negative ones, because of course we had negative ones too. It's a shame, man. It's a shame. I don't like it. I don't like where this is going. Let me go into what I'm doing next, guys. A video that I got going on next. We're empty. This is one of the cheapest Mossbergs known to man. It's a Maverick. And what I'm going to be doing with this Maverick is I'm going to be doing something pretty cool with this. Before I beat the crap out of it, I am going to take this thing, and there's the age-old debate, you know, living in South Louisiana where I live, there's been a debate for many, many years over the length of your barrel. Whether rabbit hunting, squirrel hunting, dove hunting, duck hunting, goose hunting. There's been debates on the pros and cons over long versus short barrels, whether it be ammunition performance, whether it be maneuverability of the gun, a number of things that people have talked about. And usually it's just grandpa who told somebody something, and grandpa's not always right. So I'm going to run my own tests. And I have this Maverick actually comes with an 18.5-inch barrel, and I think a 24-inch barrel maybe. I'm pretty sure. I don't have the other barrel here with me. But this is the 18.5, and I'm pretty sure it's a 24-inch barrel. And excuse me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run those tests originally by swapping out, because I don't want anybody to say that the shotgun itself is what outperformed the other barrel. So I'm going to use the exact same shotgun, and I'm going to change the barrel out. So by changing that out, that's the only thing that will be different, will be the barrel. I use the same rounds, and I use the exact same shotgun. Now, after I run my full test on the 18.5 and the 24, then I'm going to probably take, I'll probably take this one, or I may take the 24, because I like the size of this one. I mean, this one's usable. So I'll probably take the 24. And I'm going to start cutting 1 inch off at a time and compare my performance of the 12 gauge shotgun shells as I cut 1 inch off at a time. I'll take an inch off, and then, or maybe 2 inches. I may do it 2 inches at a time, and just compare velocity, spread. I'll show spread on a piece of paper, all that good stuff. Just something that's going to show something kind of cool, that's going to give you, you know, a firsthand feel on what performance truly is, depending on the length of your barrel. Because I grew up hearing all kinds of stupid stories, and they all conflicted with one another, and they were very, very inconsistent. So I'm pretty excited to do something like that with a gun like this. These things here, I think I paid $200 for this thing, or 200 something bucks, brand new. So it's a Model 88 12 gauge by Maverick, which is essentially an off-brand of Mossberg. That's crazy, hearing an off-brand of Mossberg. That's like saying a cheap version of something from Walmart. A pretty good recoil pad on this thing, though. I ain't gonna lie. That recoil pad has a lot of give to it. If you look the way it's made, that honeycomb in there, that honeycomb gives pretty good. See how much it pushes in there? So, I mean, I see that thing absorbing some pretty good shot whenever it pushes into your arm. So for a cheap buttstock, that thing looks pretty good. Anyway, Not trying to impress anybody with this. I just think it's going to be fun to do this video series. So, it is 7:40. I have finished blabbing early tonight. So, what we're going to do the rest of the night, just because it's Christmas and I'm in a giving mood, I want to give my time to you all, and let's just chat for the next 20 minutes. I want to hear your questions. If you could address me in the the comment section over here, and I'll be happy to try to answer your questions or refer it to some of the other guys in our room. We always have a pretty, that's one thing I like about this room that we have. We have some pretty educated people in here, a pretty wide variety of guys that are gun guys in our community. So it's interesting and fun to me that we have so many guys in here that know stuff about guns, Let's see. I'm going to scroll down here and just kind of chat with you guys. Edwin, no, I'm not having whiskey. Just drinking beer, man. And I'm way behind. That's my second beer. I got a long way to go to catch up, especially if you're on whiskey. Do you think they'll make an assault weapon ban again? Not necessarily during Trump's administration. If so, then when? Yes, absolutely. That's not fear mongering. The left is not hiding from the fact that they don't want us to have AR-15s. That's not something that they're trying to play games with. They're very open about the fact that they want to ban assault weapons. So yeah, look, guys, let's face it. We're going to have another Democrat president. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. It's going to happen either in 2020, truly, or I believe in 2024. I think it's going to happen. Now, Mike Pence, I think, would be a good president. I think Mike Pence would do okay, but you never know. I mean, it's hard to follow Trump. But, yeah, again, my point is we're going to have a Democrat president at some point. When we do, if we keep this southern border open, there will be so many Democrats in this country that we will never have another Democrat-controlled House, and most likely we won't have a Democrat-controlled Senate. Now, if you understand how civics work, the benefit we have in the United States is that the conservatives should control the Senate, or at least have a chance at controlling the Senate all the time. I know things change in the community, and all of a sudden, people turn left and they go right again. And sometimes things like motivate people to either sit out an election or go for it. So presidency-wise, that's why it changes so much. Senate-wise, since we have 2 senators for every state, there's 100 senators, 50 states. That's a pretty even playing field. The problem we have with the House of Representatives is that it's based on population. However many representatives you have is based on your state's population and your district's population. So that's where we have the unfortunate problem of these high populated areas. Almost all not almost. All of your highly populated areas are Democrat controlled. They all are, because they hand out welfare and all kind of other crap. So we'll never control those. So that's the downside. They'll always have their hands in the House of Representatives, and there probably will reach a time, I hate to say this, but in our lifetime, I believe that we will never control the House again. I truly believe that. In my lifetime, I believe that Republicans will never control the House. I honestly believe that. I do believe the Senate will go back and forth. And I think the presidency has a chance to go back and forth, but the same thing. From an electoral college standpoint, it's going to be tough for a president to win the electoral college going forward, simply because if we open our borders and allow these 20 and eventually 30 and 40 million new Americans to come in or be Americans and somehow or another vote, we'll never have another conservative president. It's not going to happen. So yes, assault weapons ban is going to take place at some point. Now, do they grandfather it? Because it was grandfathered before. I kind of need them to grandfather it. I kind of do. I'm going to be in a bind. I'm going to need somebody to give me a little bit more than about $500 a gun, because there are little buyback programs that they have for $200 a pop. It's not going to cut it here. I don't own a $200 AR-15. I simply don't. Do they make a $200 AR-15? Shit. What is the... I mean, I know I have cheap stuff too. I don't have all good stuff. The cheapest AR-15 that I have is... let's see. Well, I take that back. Here we go. An AK-47. This piece of crap right here. This is a cheap AR-15. This is a, I even forget the name of the brand. This is an Interarms AR-15. This is the one that I did a Gun Bully segment on a couple of years ago. Listen how dry that is. It even fake locks back like that. Probably $200, $300, $400 maybe for this. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know for sure, to be honest with you. So, them trying to offer $200 a pop for high-end stuff, it's not going to cut it for me. I'm not turning my stuff in. Now, I'm not going to jail either. I'm not one of those kind of guys trying to prove how tough I am in prison. I'm not cut for prison, guys. I got to have a gun on my side during the day. I ain't going to lie. I'm too old to fight. If I don't have a gun hanging off my side during the day, I'm just not in the fight. I can't handle it no more. So, anyway, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a gloomy world that we're living in right now by looking at the future. I try not to look at the future. I don't mind telling you. Unless it's my job and I'm having to do it for whatever we do on here, there's nothing real fun about looking forward right now. Because the Republicans don't care about our gun rights. I mean, guys, look, let's face it. Look at, what do we have? A total of, I think it's 535 total legislators. I think there's 435 representatives and, of course, 100 senators. So 535 people. You guys cannot name one of them, including the president and Mike Pence. You can't name one of those people that is truly a gun guy. I mean, seriously. I'm talking a gun guy. Like if you walked up to him and said, hey, man, have you ever field stripped a 1911? Yeah, you know, I've taken one apart. No. Tell you what, not field strip. Have you ever completely stripped one down? Well, yeah, you know, I've taken a slide off of one. No. Do you know how to take the mainspring housing out of a 1911? You know what I mean? Do you know how to take the firing pin out of a bolt carrier group of an AR-15? None of them do. I'm not saying that's a requirement. What I'm saying is we got no gun guys. We got no gun guys in the whole zip code of Washington, D.C. None. So it's hard for them to speak our language. When you hear them talking about clips instead of magazines, when you hear everybody talking about fully semi-automatic, these are people that are legislating. They're people who are making law. They're making the laws that we have to abide by. And they don't know what the hell they're talking about. That's the scary part. You want to mess some stuff up? Take me and put me in a lab with guys doing quantum physics and other nuclear crap. I'll blow some stuff up. I'll prove to you how much I don't know about nuclear physics. But nobody's hiring me to make laws about the nuclear community. That's the beauty of the whole thing. Everybody knows what my limitations are, and so do I. The people in Washington, they either don't know their own limitations, they're too stupid to realize that there's a lot of people out there like us that think a different way. I don't know. This is a it's a slippery slope right now, simply because I'm just not happy with what I see out of Washington right now. I know the lobbyists are trying. Gun Owners of America seems like they're trying to do a really good job to go in there and lobby, but man, it's hard to, when you got nothing to work with, it's hard to get something done. You know what I mean? There's no one with any real credibility in the gun community in Washington, D.C. So the Gun Owners of America people are pretty much just at the mercy of whoever's still left in there, which is nobody. There's nobody good in there. I got no confidence in Washington, D.C., guys, if it hadn't come through yet. That's impressive. Ty Judd says that Liz Cheney can. I guess you're talking about field stripping a gun. Said I personally taught her how to field strip an AR-15 in 1911. That's impressive. Can she talk the talk? I mean, seriously, can she talk the talk? I mean, she's obviously talking to you and telling you what you want to hear, just like she would tell me what I want to hear about guns. But does she talk the talk? You know, that's the thing. Yeah, you're exactly right. A Google user. That is why we should consider term limits. We shouldn't consider term limits. They ought to be law. We should have term limits. You know, how messed up is it to have the very people who benefit from legislation making that same legislation? The people who would vote term limits into place are the ones who don't want term limits, the legislators. The people who are able to vote themselves their own raises are the legislators. How awesome is that? I'd love to be able to raise my hand every year and go, I should get a raise. All right, well, who's giving me a raise? Oh, I'm giving me a raise. Oh, really? Yes, I'm going to vote myself a raise. Well, on what grounds? Doesn't matter. It's my vote. All right, you get a raise. How awesome is that? That is so awesome. Yeah, Z50 says, Washington wants Ocasio-Cortez to lead the nation. We're doomed. That is a goofy woman right there. What a dummy. She is a dummy. Oh, man. All right, guys. I'm listening. I'm watching y'all's feed here because we got 8 minutes to go. I'm scrolling through y'all's stuff, by the way. I'm not zoning out. I'm actually reading your stuff. Excuse me. Man, my throat is killing me. My allergies are whipping my butt. Wow, I didn't realize that. Roger Kaiser says that CZ has been touring the Harley plant in Kansas City, Missouri to purchase them. They've been in there several times, supposedly landed a government contract. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a Harley guy, so I mean, I'm not a motorcycle guy, period. So I really don't, you know, I guess that makes me sound like the bump stock people. I'm not a Harley guy, so I don't care. Yeah, well, that's not a law. No one's going to be disenfranchised from riding motorcycles, but I'd love to see CZ stateside doing some pretty cool stuff. Well, Jared says, get an FFL and open a store, then you have as many guns as you want. Yeah, I guess I could do that. Aren't the laws a little funny on FFL? I looked into that a year or so ago. The problem I found with that is a couple of things. Wherever the FFL is, once I would get an FFL, every gun that I own has to reside at that FFL. In other words, if I possess the FFL license as myself, then everything that I have in here has to be at that location. Um, I don't like that because I don't want my I'm not sure if I want my FFL here. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's gonna probably get to that point at some point. Um, then they're gonna probably change the requirements of who gets an FFL. I mean, most likely it will. Let's see. How's that High Point 10 millimeter holding out? Haven't shot it lately, so it's doing the same as it did before. I had no problems with it before. I mean, I'm not a High Point guy by any stretch, but it did just fine. Orman Axis says Creators Summit 2019 set for September 13th, 14th, 15th. What is that? Creators Summit. What is that for? Is that for like gun guys, YouTube creators, I guess? Yeah, I agree with you, Ty, that Harleys are overpriced. Yeah, gun people are good people at heart, Kyle Crawford says. He's exactly right. That's why they don't become politicians. You got that right. I think the biggest thing is most of us, and seriously, most of us have a really hard time just lying to people to their face. I mean, I really do. Keith Drager says, are you getting a Glock 43X? I know I'm going to get one. I'll have one sent to me for sure. Usually a lot of these newer guns like that come out, usually we'll get one. You know, somebody will send one to us to do something with. So I'm sure I'll get one. Aaron Keller asks if Clay Higgins is a gun guy. Who knows? I mean, now Clay will tell you he's a gun guy, but just like every politician, who knows? You know, my thing is I love 1911s. Love them. Obviously, I've got more 1911s than any other style of gun out there, including AR-15s. But I don't carry it. When I can carry as big a gun as I want to, like wintertime, like right now, I'm not carrying a 1911 because I got 8 rounds. I'm carrying something where I can carry 17 rounds minimum. Clay still carries a 1911. So that tells me he's not exactly a gun guy. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Clay needs to reach out to me and prove how much of a gun guy he is. Yeah, I saw that Ginsburg is in surgery. As a person, I hope she makes it. As an American, I hope she gets out of there. I hope she decides that Supreme Court is too much for her and just gets out. We don't need her. She's not on the level of Hillary Clinton, but she's not good for our country. She's not a good person as far as on the court. She might be a good person. Scalia liked her. And that's the one thing that kind of makes me think that she can't be too bad because Scalia did like her. And I thought Scalia was an awesome Supreme Court justice. I had a lot of respect for Scalia. Scalia was one of the main dudes that I had so much confidence in from a Second Amendment standpoint. So they were friends. So all I can say is she can't be all that bad as a person, but she's horrible as far as what she stands for, the Constitution and what our rights are. So I hate that. Armament and Axes, you might want to send me that link because I mean I can't click on it right now. Said we had our first creator summit last year there. It was fun, wanting to grow the event. I'm still not sure what creators you're talking about. Is it YouTube guys? Is it just strictly YouTube creators across the board? Anybody who makes videos on YouTube? Is it gun guys? What is it? You know, what is it specifically? You might want to email me. Email me at paul@legallyarmedamerica.com. I'll take a look at it and see what you guys got going on. Man, I'm going to get out of here, guys. My throat is freaking killing me. It's dry, and I keep trying to wet it with this, which wetting it with alcohol is kind of stupid. But I'm going to go listen to some Christmas music, hang out with my family. Hope you guys do too. Merry Christmas to all of you guys. And I got to tell you, man, it's going to be, we're going to move into the political season coming up. It's going to be a crazy year, guys. When these Democrats get in office after the first of the year, hopefully, and I'm sure I will do a live stream next Friday night, the last of the year. So we'll be able to talk about this in detail next year, and I'll be more prepared to talk about it next year. But we're gonna have a crazy year coming up in 2019, guys. So for now, I hope everybody has a great Christmas. You know, a safe Christmas. Man, if you got people giving guns for Christmas, please teach them some general gun safety, basic gun safety. Please do that. So important to me that people still have the gift of giving guns for Christmas and all that, which I'm giving one for Christmas. But at the same time, deliver that, hey, let's go to the range kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, you know, hope you guys enjoy that. If you do take somebody to the range, be safe. Watch out for the other people out there that may not be quite as safe as you are. But enjoy your family, man. Try not to talk about politics too much because I'm not going to lie. I try to stay away from that because I feel real strong about my side. And when somebody from the liberal standpoint starts running their mouth, I got to shut that down pretty quick. And sometimes I've had to just walk away because I don't want to ruin the whole moment. So, you know, be patient, I guess, is what I'm asking you guys. But definitely have some fun. Enjoy the long weekend. If you have Monday off, even better. That's 4 days. If not, man, definitely be safe with this crazy ass last minute Christmas shopping traffic. Oh my God. I feel more safe being, I don't know, I feel safer drinking water from Mexico than I do driving in this freaking traffic for Christmas. God, it's bad. But anyway, I wish you guys all the best. I'm always flattered that you guys hang out with me. I am going to go drink some hot tea with some honey in it, something like that, and try to get this throat knocked out and go lay down with my little boy and put him to bed. So I wish you guys the best. I appreciate it again, you guys hanging out with me. As always, I'm flattered that you do that. We'll for sure see you next Friday night. Merry Christmas to everybody. Be safe, and we will see you guys later.